Hey, let me check in with chapters 3 to 12 of Before They Were Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. I've been trucking along with this book today. Um, and so let's try and divide it up into storylines. We have the storyline with, fuck's sake, the dude who's the torturer, who was a soldier. God damn it, I can't remember his name now. He gets sent to a city where the person who was there before has been killed. The Inquisitor has been killed. There are the Turkish kind of forces massing outside. The Union people inside are basically the British treating the natives like complete shit. And are neglecting the fortifications. Turns out that when he gets there, it's like, oh, you have 3 witnesses. Oh yes, you've tortured 2 of them to death, and the other one, which is a 14-year-old child, is also almost near death. And it's like, oh, okay, well then he puts that guy into the torture chamber to find out what the hell's going on. But of course, the guy knows nothing and is probably an incompetent. So we have that, and he's looking at the various people there. There's the doddering old Lord Governor. There's his son, neither of which are being particularly cooperative. He has the golden ticket, though. He has basically a thing saying that from the government saying, like, you get to do everything you want, to make sure that this situation is properly taken care of. He's asked for money, but probably isn't going to get any money. Has a very interesting conversation with a female, the spice merchant, who might very well be the rotten heart of the thing. Might be the one who's going to flip over to the Turks, but then again, any of them might. There's a soldier guy there who is very blustering, and he knew from his past life when he was a soldier, and he was an arrogant, blustering bully ass then. But those guys have a tendency to do fine for themselves, and yeah, they, he talks about, he talks to the son of the governor. It's like, well, how much stores do you have? Oh, we have 6 months. But only for ourselves, not for the natives. And what will happen with the natives when they starve to death and are starving to death? Won't they revolt and betray you or kill you all? Eat you if they can't survive? It's like, so yes, we've got that situation. We have a Logan Nine Fingers going off with Baylor, the mage, and Giselle, the arrogant Union soldier, and what's her nuts? Ron, the basically a enslaved girl who had been an enslaved girl by the Turks, who fucking hates them, who's apparently has probably the faintest bit of demon blood in her, and is thus got really supernaturally great physical powers, as well as, I think, more powers. And they are traveling with, they've got a navigator and Baylor's apprentice, and they are traveling to, I can't even remember what they're doing, to be honest. I always have a hard time keeping theirs fixed. They've got the whole mystic thing of they're going after probably another one of the mages, mage gone wrong, who has they eat the flesh of the men, and have touched. They've broken the first law, which is touching is dealing with kind of the devils on the other side. And there's indeed a whole back history of ancient times of where Baylor was also, that they that there was a younger son who is given nothing, and he unleashed this power on the world, and that ends up consuming the whole kingdom. And so they're making their way across to try and get that across somewhere. I fucking can't remember where. We have got we've got West, who is Column West. I think we already touched with him. He is, yes, indeed, he has been quartered with the foppish prince, prince character who is the next in line to the throne. Who it really is like basically he's like the Krishna character in a bad, not dumbass way of like he basically has had no problems. Everything's always been yes men around him, so he's really good at not listening to reality. He mentions the guy who's become part of the Inquisition. It's like, oh, he was a great soldier, and oh, he was great. He was great. It's like, well, what's he do? It's too bad he died. It's like, no, he didn't die. He joined the Inquisition. It's like, well, why on earth would he do that? And it's like, Wes is like, yeah, I'm not getting into that. It's like, I have no idea, sir. It's like, oh, yeah, and then basically Inquisition, and then a couple of minutes later, he's like, oh, yes, you'll have to tell me more stories about him when he was still alive. It's like, oh boy. But West discovers that shit, their army, which is basically the dregs of all the other armies, the conscripts, except for the prince's coterie of gleamy soldiers, everybody else is like underfed, underarmed, undertrained conscripts, and it's like, and it turns out they don't even have a blacksmith to be able to hoof. He finds about this because he meets a friend who says like, I can't even get my horse shoed. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, well, we run on metal, spears, arrows, all that stuff, and we don't have any. We're going to be in serious shit if there's any action whatsoever. We might as well not have weapons if we don't have a blacksmith to help forge and repair them. So he ends up having to go to a local penal prison and say, I want 12 of your most skilled prison forgers, because it's a forge, it's a metalworks, it's all this stuff. So it's like, well, I can't. These are all highly dangerous. Sounds like political prisoners, and they're all in manacles that have been melted shut. It's like they're here forever. This is the place that you put people that you're just never going to see ever again. And the guy's like, yeah, it's horribly and there's like families here. It's like, yeah, it's horribly inhumane, but it's like even the innocents can be dangerous and guilty, and so fuck you for trying to look down on me. I'm the one who actually stays here with them and does stuff. Though he does say at the end, it's like, I'll be writing a letter to the art arch lector, and who knows, maybe you'll end up in one of these camps. You can hone your stories at the inhumanity of these kind of camps. It's like, ooh, he has his own points, and B, it's like, oh fuck, you wouldn't want to be under his power. But yes, he takes a bunch of people, and the one guy who kind of starts it off saying like, yeah, I could do this. It's like, can I take my daughter with me? She's strong. She can feel things. It's like, oh, and he's like, okay, fine, I will. And it's like, that's where he has that clash with that camp commander about that. And it's like, no, fucking, I'm taking her, in the end, because it's like, yeah. So we have that story, and yes, we got Logan Nine Fingers, we got so we got the torturer guy, we got West, we got Logan Nine Fingers. I feel like I've missed somebody along the way. Oh, we got Dogman, and his group, who West has sent out to cross over the river, where the useless prince and his kind of his token army are put, his token units are put, basically thinking like, oh, he won't be here. And of course, they spot a couple of northern men. It's like, oh shit. And so they take them down, and it's like, it's dodgy. And like, these are all guys who are like, they're named men. They were like great warriors, feared, but now they're kind of like older. And it's like, as they say, it's like, I should have like my sons being taking care of me right now. I shouldn't be still fucking out in the woods doing shit boy work, like going scouting. But they are. And it's like, that's where they are. It's like, just, gotta fucking suck it up and do it. And so they do it. They take out these guys, almost get themselves killed because they get their left right, who's like, that my left or your left? And so they both end up taking out one guy and leaving another guy alive. And then another couple of guys showed up, but Dogman fumbles down the thing. So is about to get killed, but luckily one of his own compatriots gets up and they behead him, and he's like bathed in blood. And then they sneak up over the ridge and they see, holy shit, it's like half of the Northern Army, and it's like the worst, meanest, most vicious part of the Northern Army is all there, including Bethod. And it's like they are 5 miles away from the easiest pickings of this, the easiest, weakest units of the crown prince's make work project. It's like, oh, they are fucked. Oh, they are fucked. And they have to consider just going down and trying to assassinate Bethod, because it's like, we want revenge over Bethod. That's why we've decided to offer our services to the Union Army. But it's like, most likely we wouldn't get through, and if we did get through, we most likely wouldn't survive. It's like, we need to get back and warn them that this is what's up. What they're going to be able to do, even with the warning, I have no idea, though. So I think that is all the sections at the moment of this story. It's really good in that, like, this is a trilogy. These are 3 books apparently that just go together, and I can feel like, wow, we're not getting filler. This is all no filler, all killer kind of like, we're advancing a story. And yeah, I'm enjoying this really well, versus when you get, Brandon Sanderson 17 volume fantasy series, all books 1,000 pages or longer. You get the flab, you get the, oh god, we're going to go more and more into this. It's like, no, every one of these storylines is just like click, clicking along. I'm really enjoying myself, which is good. It's nice to have something that's really well written, funny, brutal, and you care about all these characters, and they're also not trying to make mustache twirling villains, though perhaps what the demons that Baylor and Logan Ninefinger are going for might be the mustache twirling villains, which may be why I have a hard time keeping them in my head. They're more nebulous. I'll have to try and read up and try and get that more nailed down, so I can A, care about what they're doing, and B, be able to communicate that to you. So yes, that is chapters 3 through 13 in no particular order of before they are hanged by Joe Abercrombie. More videos later.